as I was out of gas at the Cumberland Farms, I tried to get rest all night. Couldn't. And I suddenly felt it's like surgery being performed on my womb and down there. And I could see in the mind eye that there was a man that was maybe working on a sink or working under something. And I finally, as I was making myself look, more presentable, I haven't had a chance to have a proper shower because these things go on when I'm in the shower too. This is like the highest form of what they call fair game. And it's because I just finally just took a stance. I was like, you know what? My life's not going anywhere. My life's not getting anywhere. I think I'm just going to say that Dermot Mulrooney and David Miscavige were in a sexual relationship if they were not secretly or openly married, and just I was prevented from finding out so that I could be mistreated for no reason. Then I looked at this upscale gentleman's club and I'm like, oh, no wonder why that tow truck driver was. I said, I'm out of gas and I need to get brought over to the gas. And he said, I don't even have any. He was just acting like he wasn't aware he was even driving a tow truck. I'm sure it was because I didn't have any money. But when my Adult Protective Services wants to steal $6,000 from me, then, that puts me pretty short on cash. Somebody gave me a gold dipped and a gold plated and stainless steel Timex watches. I put them on Facebook and I was waiting to see if anybody would reply so I could also sell them. Get a little gas and get out of there. Anybody wants to sit there and say, like, I'm the most illegal car on the road, it's not true. And I'm not the only car that looks exactly like mine. So somebody's driving around looking like my car, driving or starting trouble. I don't know. I'm not part of these scenarios, but you sure have wrapped me into all of them. You put me as the main portion of a scenario everywhere I go, and it's illegal. I've told you this for many years. Every police agency that uses these for their schools, whether they're charter schools for young boys that are going to maybe grow up in the criminal justice system or the thin red line of fire department or medical field, you've all committed crimes against me alone, but I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Stop. Stop acting like I'm the fucking Harrison Ford in The Fugitive, because that's got to stop too. I did a little segment. I suddenly realized, I said, I need to do a little segment on Suzanne Lyle, because if she's running from people like this or a construct like this, then it's perfectly understandable why she might have helped herself to Catholic charities and maybe changed her identity, as well as Mary Lyle. But when's the last time anybody saw Mary Lyle? Or is Mary Lyle Sheila Lopez? And is it some other weird portion of denigration, a part of placation that looks like your own place of being, but it's like I said, the air changes, the mood changes. Thin red line tends to be bad air. It's warm when it should be air conditioned. It's dirty when it should be sanitary. Thin blue line is usually cold. Cold air to breathe, but not freezing. Cold air to breathe, but a warm body. Nice. I'm alive. I feel cold air. Whereas the thin red line is sort of, and their conduits are all about what would bring them business. smoking, drinking, and it's what they do through their conduit that they would never do through their own body. You see why I said, oh, that's awful. It's just awful. But I just believed it based on some of the things that I experienced. And I didn't believe it was every one. I mean, that's the most sad thing. If you think it's every single one, at least ask, is it? I mean, you would want to. Not be like, yeah, there's another one. And start like luring them. Hi, I like kids, do you? You know, want to see my kids' parts or something. That's what they're doing. That is what they're doing. They're luring them in here so they can take everything they got and take them for a ride. So they've put me through the worst of it. And when at some point I'm looking right across the way, I'm like, oh, they think I'm probably some dancer at this red envelope place. And another thing is a lot of men choose their wife based on infancy or childhood, the way their vagina looks. It's disgusting. And that's how they choose their conduits. That's why a lot of black men are used as conduits, because these white men are insecure about the size of their penis. And a lot of black men tend to have a large penis. This is their handbook for how to placate. And so I think David Miscavige is so young person, sheltered person, innocent compared to a lot of this crap. But I didn't have to experience it to know that. I really like beautiful stories. I like making things pretty, even if they're not. I like the idea of how the Chinese, I believe it's Chinese tradition to fix a porcelain bowl by forging gold and making it. You don't just throw it out. And so I thought it would be a beautiful story. Forgive your placater. But not that he really placated me. I think, I'll be honest with you, I was an ugly kid. I've had extensive dental work done and periodontal, and as well as oral maxillofacial work done. And I did forget. Somebody reminded me so often. You see me, like that's how they're able to control us. So you tell me, and that's what a placater does too. They pirate. So how would you feel if you're like, don't do that, and all of a sudden just you feel, and you're like, hey, I wouldn't normally. They just hit me. So you see how it gets, and it's like, well, I'm going to get you. Well, the other morning I just thought I'd wake you up with a vicious engram, and we hear stomp on the floor and slam on the door. That is dangerous, and it's black Dianetics. So, Elizabeth Ann Depp, Roman Seeloff, you're suppressive. Fair game on you. As I'm looking at the red envelope, I see 2 people get out, but I could see, finally, with my actual vision, translucence of David Miscavige, and however you need it not said, and his wife, getting into this goldish, sort of like, it's like a wagon, but it was also an SUV. And I mean, I was only with my thoughts, but these people actually are with forthright taking like a stylus and changing the whole world around you. They will ramp up the force of the wind to like 100 miles an hour if they damn well feel like it, because you didn't wash your ass today. Something's wrong with these people in the air where they're at. Like, I never lost my sense of right and wrong, but I have to defend myself. So I just started stabbing at them. That's all I do. It's about like getting them away from me. Get away from me. And you know it's a whole lot less real when they're not getting away from me. When they're just proceeding. But I had been enduring this somewhat surgical procedure, and I can't get away from it. I'm putting books under me, putting shoes under me, they're touching my back, they're touching my back, they're in my hair. This guy doesn't contact me like, I know how to help you. Our souls are intertwined. It'd probably be best for both of us if I helped you. Hey, why don't, look, I'm sorry, but I chose to marry your sister, and she knows how to help you because I don't want to talk to either one of you. Any sort of communication like that. Instead, it's the most immature high school baby bullshit with a whole lot of assault and battery involved too. And they're all working together on it. So, yep, I did. So if he dies of some kind of internal injury, it was me. And I'm very sad about it because it's not my kind of way. But I have to defend myself some way, and I have to make a big statement too. And I would have preferred to get Michelle because I told you she was in on it too, or Cindy, whoever her name is, Cindy. And also Leah Remini likes to jump in now and then and peek, and it's like you all lack self-control. You all lack self-control, and you got the money. The thing is, they got the money and the ego. They got all the money and all the ego to be like, I can. Well, okay. Well, you can also die of stab wounds, just so you know. Not some gun-toting Leslie, so I always made it a point to try to use a gun a lot less. And I'm not a Leslie. I would have loved to have at least been a family member who really did for the real have an affair with David behind Elizabeth's back, because she seems to think I'm always robbing her.